Jai Sri Krishna. So here I am at the exhibition of Simran Saigal, and she's a daughter of a very dear friend of mine who is also highly spiritual. And she invited me for an exhibition. She's an artist and she has done paintings on the chakras, which are very, very impressive because her mother showed them to me. And here I am at an exhibition which I find so ethereal that the photograph doesn't do justice, because you imagine a dark cave, a dark room, where you are sitting with the different colors coming on this tree, birds chirping, and basically it's like you could be sitting in a jungle but with perfect comfort, and you could get into a very deep meditative space. So while I'm here, I asked Simran whether she would like to do a quick interview with me, and she said yes. So you will see her in the photograph with me. But let me ask her a few questions. She's a young 21-year-old? She's a young 21-year-old, lovely, pretty girl. But let me see. So Simran, tell me, what got you interested in this? In fact, it surprised me when she said that her first... Tell me what happened to you at the age of 20, that you went into such ethereal art. Yes. Tell me.
It was a very random, sudden thing. Like, I was not expecting it to happen. I didn't think my art would change so drastically. But I started reading books about Buddhism, and something just clicked about chakras. I don't know why. I spoke to my Masi about it, and she was explaining it to me. And she told me, speak to your Nani. She'll have so much information to give you, so much knowledge to give you. And I just spoke to her one day, and it just clicked somehow. And she just gave me so much information that connected with me on a deep level, where I just felt peace. And I felt so much happiness listening to what she was saying and the knowledge she was giving me. And we started having these conversations, especially when I was abroad. And going to study in London initially was very difficult for me because it was away from home. It was a hard situation to adjust to. And talking about spiritualism, talking about meditation, chakras, higher energy, it made me feel calm and happy. And I just started creating my art based on this knowledge. And it just went from there. So I started talking to my Nani about chakras, and she practiced meditation with me for a while before I created my first piece. And we would meditate together on call because I was in London, she was here. And I started visualizing the chakras in the places that they were, and that's where I made my first animation from. So I used digital media to create the visuals that I saw when I was meditating. And that was the first piece. And then I came back to Bombay for summer. I started reading more books. I started speaking to her, my Nani, even more. She gave me more knowledge. She introduced me to your website. I started reading up more and more and more, and it just really clicked with me. I felt a lot of peace. I had a lot of health issues that I was going through, and reading this and studying this and understanding this, it gave me a positive outlook to my life, and I wanted to bring that into my work because I want to introduce people to this knowledge, to this beautiful thing that can give you so much happiness in life. She introduced me to the autobiography of a yogi.
Yeah.
I started reading that, and I realized that you can't force this on anyone. You can only show someone that this exists, and if they connect with it, if it's their time, if they're ready to accept this knowledge, they can go down this path as well and find whatever it is they need to find through it. These books are highly intellectual, they're very heavy knowledge-based stuff, and it's not easy to go through, and you will always go back to it whenever you're ready to receive what it's giving you. So that's why I started making work like this, where I could introduce people to it on a not such a high level. It's more like you can take from it what it gives to you. And I really like my work to be an immersive piece and like multi-sensory, so you're really engaged with what is coming your way. So I started doing multi-sensory artworks and immersive artworks where sight, smell, touch, taste, all these senses would be activated, would be stimulated in the work that you're in, so that you really feel that you're part of what the artist is showing you. Now, for this particular piece, Kalpavriksha, it's inspired by the Ramayana, specifically the first 10 years of their exile, where they studied the plants, the nature. They found respite and peace and solace in the forests of India as they traveled they traveled the whole subcontinent of India all the way to Sri Lanka, like from Ayodhya, because they were gaining knowledge from the gurus, the sadhus that they met on the way. They were learning things, but they were also studying the nature, seeing the Ayurvedic aspects of plants, and they spent their first 10 years with ease because they were just in nature, being with it and its energy that it was providing for them. So I really wanted to make people feel that connection with nature again. And since it is contemporary art, it's the new modern art, there's a lot more that you can do with it. You can put a lot more meaning into your work. So the materials I've used are cement and fabric, which are a commentary on how we've moved away from nature. We are, at least in this day and age, in the Kali Yuga that we are in right now, we are cutting down our forests, we're building these cement factories and these buildings, and we're trying to accommodate so many new things instead of just connecting with nature. So for example, like this is a banyan tree that I've made, and I've made this small space to make it feel like it's a forest. But we won't notice the amount of banyan trees in Bombay. Like for me specifically, before I started this project, I didn't realize that Bombay city has so many banyan trees. Like if you notice it, there are like 2 banyan trees just outside, and we don't notice those things, but we'd come and we'd see the things like this, and then we can start reconnecting with that's natural around us. So that's what really inspired me, is to create something that would make people go back to nature and find solace in nature. And the intention of this piece in particular was to create a space where you could meditate, go back to, nature, feel like you're in the middle of a jungle, like you said, in a quiet space, find respite in like the chaotic city that we live in. So that was the inspiration of this.
So Simran, yes, that's exactly how I felt. In fact, I did tell Simran that I think you should rent out this room, because while the music was on and while I could hear the chirping of the birds and the different light sensations, I didn't want to close my eyes, but my being wanted to close my eyes and meditate. I didn't want to miss anything. But I was thinking that if this room could be rented out, and this is what I told her, rent it out for an hour, half an hour, 45 minutes. And I think it just gives so much solace. Imagine, especially at this time, when we are speaking so much about Lord Rama as the opening up of the Sri Ram temple in Ayodhya. It is so very relative at this time. So Simran, I wish you all the very best. I wish you all the luck. Being a good friend's daughter, my good friend is Shashi Devi Dayal, and being her daughter, you are like a daughter to me, if maybe not biological but spiritual, because I'm very impressed by you. So yes, God bless you and take you to, as my guru would say, beyond the stars.
Thank you.